This whole shutdown feels like an episode of America's Funniest Home Videos. You already know the kid's gonna hit the ball and nail dad in the crotch, and yet we still watch and laugh. The Democrats spent years warning that Trump wanted to be a king, but with this shutdown, they crowned him.
You have said, quote, there is literally nothing to negotiate. There's nothing I can do. You are the Speaker of the House. There is, in fact, a lot you can do.
Well, there's not actually. Let me explain that. As you noted, they're voting right now on the Senate floor. We'll see how that turns out. Last night, two Democrats and an independent flipped and came along with the Republicans. But it looks like, and what we expect, is that most of the Democrats in the Senate, again, will reject the clean CR that we sent over. It's clean. What that means is it's nonpartisan. We didn't add any Republican priorities or poison pills or gimmicks or tricks into that at all. It's 24 pages. I mean, everybody can read it for themselves. It simply continues the Biden-era spending levels that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have already supported in the past. They just did it most recently in March, and he gave long speeches about how it was so critically important that we not shut the government down.
Yes,
so
no.
There's nothing for me to give. There's nothing to negotiate. I don't have any Republican priorities to put on the table because we sent over a clean CR, and that's why none of this makes sense.
Okay.
Dana Bash then challenges Speaker Johnson about compromising with Democrats.
You are saying, hard line, red line, you will not negotiate on anything until the government is reopened.
Chuck Schumer was in the Oval Office with me, 48 hours ago. We were there. The president, as a strong leader, he brought all of us in, all four leaders, Thune and Schumer and myself and Hakeem Jeffries. And the president said, make your case. What is it you want? And Chuck Schumer repeated in that meeting what he put on paper. The counter proposal that he filed, everyone can go read it for themselves, would add $1.5 trillion in new spending on a 7-week stopgap measure. We're not doing that. He wants to give health care to illegal aliens again. We're not doing that. He wanted to claw back $50 billion that our Republican big beautiful bill put in to prop up rural hospitals. Now, people say, why would he do that? I thought he was for health care. Well, a lot of those rural hospitals, most of them are in red states. So I don't know. I don't know what his motivation is, but we can't do it.
So Johnson lays out the add-ons clearly. Schumer's plan is not a simple extension. It's loaded with new spending and repeals of Republican reforms.
That right now, the law of the land is explicitly that illegal immigrants do not get health care.
That's correct, because we added that in the law. It got signed into law July 4th. That was the Republicans' big, beautiful bill. Chuck Schumer's proposal is to repeal that.
Okay,
Go look at page 57 of the bill that he filed.
No, I mean, I have your people printed something out for me.
Are we done yet? Democrats are throwing a temper tantrum over the issue of illegal immigration that Trump and the Republicans were elected to fix. As a famous president once said, elections have consequences, and Democrats have decided they hate the consequences. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Brian, the law says illegals are not eligible for federal health care. You're right, but thanks to Biden backdoor gimmicks, they were. That talking point is a false flag intended to keep you from looking under the hood. Here's what big media is not telling you. The Republicans' July 4th law tightened Medicaid, removing 2.3 million improper enrollments, including illegal aliens and able-bodied adults not entitled to the program. Schumer's continuing resolution undoes that reform, reopening the so-called California loophole that lets states shuffle federal Medicaid dollars to cover non-citizens. Under the Biden administration, millions who entered the country illegally were granted parole status, a bureaucratic label that reclassifies them as lawfully present. And under federal law, anyone labeled lawfully present qualifies for the Affordable Care Act subsidies and in many states, Medicaid reimbursement. Democrats didn't change the law, they changed the label. And that label unlocked taxpayer-funded health care for millions who entered the country illegally. Schumer's poison pill is an excuse for the shutdown. Why would they do this then? Well, we'll get to that. In the meantime, if you value this content, please like and subscribe, comment below, and help us overcome the AI overlords who want to fill your timeline with nonsense.
I want to talk about something you said this morning about Chuck Schumer. You said Schumer has now handed the keys to the kingdom to the executive branch, and that a shutdown can provide an opportunity to, quote, downsize the government. I just want to be clear. Do you think that the OMB, the executive branch, should use this shutdown as an excuse to permanently fire federal workers?
Well, I can tell you right now, the president has been a benevolent president. He is mitigating the harm right now. OMB has not come out of the blocks and fired a bunch of people. That's not what's happening.
Do you think they should?
Well, it provides an opportunity. Chuck Schumer has provided the Trump White House with an opportunity to downsize the government on priorities and policies and personnel that they deem to be non-essential.
If you thought Doge was bad, well, this is only better.
I mean, constitutionally, that's your job. Article 1, that is your job.
It is until Chuck Schumer decides to hand the keys to the president, which is literally what he's doing. If he makes the decision to shut the federal government down, he's shutting down the legislative branch, and he is giving the authority to the executive. That's how the system works, and he's made that decision. So is it foolhardy for him to do so? Of course it is. Could it backfire fantastically? Yes.
I'm a little surprised that you are okay with that.
No, it's part of our system, Dan. It's part of our constitutional system. The president and his team are tasked.
There's nothing in the Constitution that says if there's a shutdown.
No, it's not. No, because the founders couldn't have foreseen such a foolish thing that's happening right now.
Yeah.
They would understand, and they implied what Congress's first role is to make sure the government operates, right? But in a scenario like this, if the Congress's hands are tied by the minority party who will not do the right thing, then the power shifts to the executive. That's not Mike Johnson doing that. That's Chuck Schumer doing that.
Which begs the question, why are the Democrats playing with fire? Some say Schumer's just protecting his Senate seat from AOC. Come on, let's get real. Nancy Pelosi had total allegiance. Schumer's just an aging placeholder. And yet the Democrats are marching in lockstep. So I wonder, maybe this isn't a blunder. Could it be anarchy by design? Here's Chuck Schumer refusing to do a shutdown back in March of this year.
And it's not really a decision. It's a Hobson's choice. Either proceed with the bill before us or risk Donald Trump throwing America into the chaos of a shutdown. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down. There is nobody in the world, nobody, who wants to shut the government down more than Donald Trump and more than Elon Musk. We should not give it to them. And make no mistake, Democrats will continue to fight what Donald Trump is doing.
What do you think? I wonder if they decided to let Trump burn down their sacred cows, let him slash the climate offices, DEI programs, and activist grants. Then, in 2026, Democrats won on outrage. Trump destroyed your government. They create the crisis, own the narrative, and blame the villain. And that villain is, of course, Donald Trump. Just like the BLM riots of 2020, what if they're gaming for the shutdown riots of 2026, praying for a blue wave in the midterm elections? And here's your faith check from Proverbs 14:8. The wisdom of the prudent is to discern his way, but the folly of fools is deceiving. Scripture reminds us that foolish schemes often deceive their own planners. The Democrats' shutdown tactics, designed to trap their opponents, may end up exposing their own folly. In the end, wisdom discerns the path ahead. Deception only leads to chaos. Because in our upside-down world, no one is more surprised than President Trump, who just posted this on Truth Social. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They're not stupid people, so maybe that is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. President DJT. And that brings us full circle. They warned America about a dictator. They said Trump wanted to be a king. And with the Schumer shutdown, they crowned the dawn. What say you? Leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Do the Democrats have an exit strategy? Is Schumer just protecting himself, or is there a bigger plan here? And are you sick and tired of being gaslit about the consequences of illegal immigration, not just for the taxpayers, but for the poor and vulnerable who were exploited for a disgusting political power play? A power play that's brought about another shutdown. I'm Brian Tuttimore with today's Faith Check News. Remember, think right to live free.